From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network, Troy, Alabama's International University, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for December 1st, 2016. I'm Sarah Singletary.
And I'm Jordan Elston. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Troy University's Adams Administration Building is getting a new addition, one that the university hopes will better introduce future students to the school. Joshua Lee gives us a look at the progress on the future home of admissions.
The new addition to the Adams Administration Building is coming soon, and it promises to be an exciting visit for future students.
There's going to be a large auditorium area where we can do large presentations, have exciting technology for students to come in and learn about Troy, some of the things that we offer now, some of the history. So it's going to be very interactive. Then we can have presentations for students too, and then break off with their families and have individual kind of conference counseling sessions with them too.
With the ability to see future Trojans individually, Troy hopes to spark some excitement amongst visitors.
We want students to come and, like I said, have a great first impression, but get excited about Troy. We want to instill some pride in these students as they're coming in and excited to get to know about the history of Troy and what our options are for them, and to go ahead and start building that relationship early on and let them know we have great facilities for them. We have great academics and have a rich history here. And so we want to share all of that with them from their very first visit here on campus. And this facility is going to allow us to do that.
Located right behind me is the new addition to the Adams Administration Admissions Wing, which is just a mouthful, but it will host all kinds of new ways for future students to experience Troy.
One thing we're really excited about is a new interactive screen that's going to cover almost the entirety of the back wall in the admissions office. And what this is going to be is a screen where when a new potential student comes into the room, they're able to push the screen and start an interactive experience about what it's like to be a Troy student. Everything from student life to dining, residence life, academics, athletics. There's going to be so many different options that they can hear a minute to a minute and a half video about that experience here at Troy.
The addition is scheduled to be complete and open in March of 2017. Joshua Lee, Troy, TrojanVision News.
During the construction, the admissions office has been moved to Bibb Graves Hall.
December 1st means it's time to start your Christmas countdown, and the College of Communication and Fine Arts is looking to get people in the Christmas spirit with their annual Sounds of the Season concert. Troy University's College of Communication and Fine Arts has been preparing for the annual Sound of the Seasons concert.
On today's rehearsal for Sounds of the Seasons, this is a collaborative College of Communication and Fine Arts event that we do for the university every year around this time.
Students have spent weeks preparing for the concert, and for one performer, that included more than just going to rehearsals.
On top of rehearsals, we've had a couple of rehearsals before this to where we just sat down, each got out what we're going to be saying. Then we had a great rehearsal where we just ran around and acted like children. And on top of that, I've been watching Christmas movies, listening to Christmas music. I'll say that's the preparation for it. It's just enjoying the Christmas spirit.
Orlovsky says that this Christmas concert has been around for as long as she can remember, but for one Troy student, this is only her second Sound of the Seasons, and she says that she has a lot to look forward to.
Well, I'm looking to, this is actually my second time doing Sound of the Seasons this year, so I'm looking forward to the crowd and the lighting of the Christmas tree and just everybody getting into the Christmas spirit because I love Christmas.
And for anyone interested in seeing the performance,
The concert is December 1st at 7:30 p.m. The seating is very limited because we also have an event going on campus called the Middle School Honor Band, and all of those kids will be here. So we encourage those in the public to come early.
once again, the event is tonight at 7:30, and it is free and open to the public.
Earlier this semester, Troy's Department of Theater and Dance took their production of Flyin' West to the Dothan Opera House.
Alex Roberson introduces us to the professor responsible for directing the show.
Quinton Cockrell is a native of Birmingham, Alabama, and brings a rich history of performance to Troy University. He composes and directs stage plays and musicals. Cockrell teaches theater classes Acting 1 and Acting 2, as well as voice and diction.
I started when I was very young. Oh, not as young as some, but I guess in the 7th grade when I was in elementary school. I got to do Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, and it had me from then on. I wanted to always be in front of people. acting.
Christian Carlson, a theater major, tells how Quinton's teaching methods and directing critiques have made him a better actor.
He doesn't just let you get away with skimming the surface of the material. He really makes you dig deep into it and ask yourself questions about what you're doing. So there's a really great feeling when you come out of his class of that you are a professional and that you've done work and that you've learned how to behave, in your field and what to do. And as a teacher, he has a really, really awesome way of getting you inspired and excited to do your work.
Quinton Cockrell's office is in Malone Hall, room 145. And although he may be a busy man, you can always come in whether you have a question about the theater department here at Troy University, or if you have a problem with a scene in a play or a musical that you're doing, or if you just simply need a friend.
He is very, very, very interested in the development of the character and how you as an actor connect with that character and the best way of getting that character out onto the stage. And so there was a lot of, in Flying West, just digging and asking character questions and trying to figure out, what was what. And he was always kind of there.
I want young artists to know that they need to take control.
Alex Roberson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
In addition to his directing work, Cockrell was also a featured performer in the Helen Keller Lecture.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
Good evening, Trojan fans, and welcome into another edition of Trojan Sports. And you might have heard that the Trojans have a chance to still at least share a piece of the Sun Belt Championship pie. It's not a sweet potato pie left over from Thanksgiving, but it is something that's pretty sweet, and the Trojans are very thankful for it. But if you ask the Trojans, they weren't so sure themselves that they'd still have the opportunity to claim a piece of that champion's pie. In Trojan territory, every man, woman, and child that dons that Trojan tee on their apparel is stoked, pumped, jacked, whatever you call it, about the opportunity that lies ahead for the Trojans this weekend. But what did the players think when they first got the news of Arkansas State's loss?
Before we broke it down, one of the players had said something about it, and we was like, well, we got to worry about Texas State right now, and then Ark State. I guess they had already lost, and one of the players was like, we got to finish our game, and we'll worry about them later.
We weren't really thinking about it. We were hoping that they would, Lafayette would pull out the victory, and they did. So, I tried not to worry about it. We still had to win. Still got to win the last game. And when the Trojans did by a final score of 40-7 over Texas State. But did the Trojans think they'd have an opportunity to be back in the championship conversation after that November 17th loss to Arkansas State?
We thought it was a possibility. We knew it was going to be tough for Arkansas State to travel into Louisiana and win because they're a pretty good football team, and it's pretty tough to go there and win.
I mean, we really didn't. But Lafayette, they came through and helped us out on that win, and now it's up for a three-way grab still.
One senior linebacker said that whether or not Arkansas State won or lost their matchup to Louisiana Lafayette on Saturday didn't matter. It was more about making sure the Trojans ended their season on a high note, washing away the awful memory of that Thursday night game.
After we lost Arkansas State, we kind of figured we lost the conference championship, but this week they got beat, so we figured we was back in it, so we wanted to leave on a good note and actually win these last two games, even if we wasn't find our way to the top.
The Trojans will look to remain perfect on the 2016 Redemption Tour when they take on Georgia Southern this Saturday. The Trojans will also be looking to rebound from their last game televised nationally, the 35-3 drumming by Arkansas State. They will play on ESPN2 for what will be an 11 a.m. kickoff. The women's basketball team seems to be on a roll, and not just because they're butter. Tanda Rigby's team has spread out 4 wins over the team's first 5 games, with the 4 wins coming after their opening loss to Auburn. The play of the team is turning some mid-major polls heads. The Trojans opened the season at number 17, and after catching fire, the Trojans have pushed their way up to number 8 in the latest polls as of November 29th. The Trojans are top 10 and 10th place in points per game at 87, and so far, they're gaining steam for a December stretch that will include a matchup with one of the top teams in the country in Tennessee. But first, the Trojans will look to swat away the Hornets of Alabama State in Trojan Arena at 3 p.m. Sunday. That game can be seen on ESPN3. Phil Cunningham and his Trojans will also take on Alabama State Sunday, but before then, the Trojans will tangle with the Bulls of South Florida tonight in Trojan Arena. Last season, the Trojans olayed the Bulls on their home court by a final score of 82-77. The Bulls will be seeing red for redemption, but the Trojans will look to play in Matador once again.
Well, it's good to be home. We've got probably our most recognizable opponent of the season, non-conference coming in. South Florida's from the American Athletic Conference, and you'll see right away when you see them. They look the part. They're big. They're athletic. They're a talented team coming off a win last night. So it'll be a tough matchup for us, but our guys are excited about it.
The Trojans and Bulls will tip off at 6:30 p.m. in Trojan Arena in a game that can be seen on ESPN3. This will be the second all-time meeting between the two schools.